Nelson Mandela, in one of his speech, an ideal for which I am prepared to die, at the end of his trial in 1964, Nelson Mandela took to the podium to explain the ANC reason for abandoning Gandhi principles of non-violence to their freedom, and instead adopting the militant method of sabotage against property, which the activist Emmeline Pankhurst had also encouraged. At that time, Mandela explained that his decision to support militant aggression was not made through recklessness or from any love for violence. Instead, it was the result of a calm and sober assessment of the political situation that has risen after many years of tyranny, exploitation, oppression of many people by the whites. Non-violent action had not worked and had often ended in the death of hundreds of protesters, just like Nigeria are doing to Biafra today. Two, he argued that the government which uses force to support its rule teaches the oppressed to use force to oppose it, justifying his decision to engage in sabotage and hostility. The most powerful part of the speech of Mandela, though, came to the end. At the end, in his closing speech, Mandela said his lifelong commitment to the African struggle. I have cherished the ideal of democracy and a free society in which all persons will live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal for which I hope to live for and to see realized. But my Lord, if it is need be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. Apparently, as he delivered this final speech, Mandela started staring at the judge directly in the eye. Happily, unlike Martin Luther King Jr., who adopted the approach of Gandhi of nonviolence, Mandela wasn't killed for his belief, and indeed, he became the president of South Africa in 1994. Mandela died in 2013 from a respiratory infection, though his legacy lives on. While Mandela's funeral was ongoing, Obama was there, present. Obama also quoted the speech in a tribute to Mandela in Johannesburg. While Obama was making the speech, Mandela was still in the list as a terrorist by the CIA. Whether they forgot to remove his name from the terrorist list or not, the facts are there that while Obama was giving eulogy to Mandela, he was still listed as a terrorist in the United States. Evolution of freedom. Evolution. Today, everybody is taking Mandela as a legend, which he is and was. Fellow Biafran, I want to make sure that the history we are making today, that you know the foundation of the actions, decisions we are taking today to liberate you. Che Guevara is a Cuban. He's a Cuban revolutionary. He was captured and executed on the order of the Bolivian president in 1967. A few days later, Fidel Castro made a speech in honor of his close friend and comrade. Castro described Che as an incomparable soldier and an incomparable who was both capable and courageous. He was a person of visionary intelligence and a broad culture. 2, but a man of ideas and a man of action. His death is, of course, a loss. But as Castro explained, the artist may die, but what will surely never die is the art to which he has dedicated his life. Ojukwu started Biafra. Ojukwu is no more. Biafra is here. Philip Effiong started Biafra. Philip Effiong is no more. Biafra is here. Many heroes of Biafra who started Biafra, they are all gone. But Biafra is here. How truth is this? The revolutionary always are those who see tomorrow. Their word always live almost forever. Perhaps this word inspires that famous line in the film V for Vendetta. Beneath this mask, there is an idea. Mr. Greedy and the idea are bulletproof. Fidel Castro went on to say that causes are not defeated when people fall. And just because Che died does not mean his struggle were in vain. Same thing I'm telling to the Nigerian government today. Kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't mean that Biafra have ended. But you boasted when you renditioned him to Nigeria how you have ended Biafra. You boasted to the world in a press conference that Biafra has ended. And just because Che died does not mean his struggle were in vain. After all, Che was not just a great general. He was also a great thinker. And by killing him, they have not eliminated his ideas, eliminated his virtue, eliminated his example. Rather, Che will live on as a martyr and a symbol of dedication to the revolution. And that's exactly what happened. Castro's word about the legacy of his friend proved to be almost prophetic. It is always like that. Che has indeed become a socialist icon for movement worldwide. And I am reading about him today. And I am sure there are very few people who have never come across a Che Guevara t-shirt or poster at some point in their lives. It seems then that ideas really are bulletproof, especially radical ones. The evolution of freedom. My message to the Nigeria representative in the Southeast and South-South, otherwise known as Biafra territory today, is that you may choose to look the other way, but you can never say again that you did not know the evolution of freedom fighting that changes the world for better. Some people today tell us about non-violent agitation as the only way. And I ask them, who is violent? Is it the Biafra people that were carrying flags and walking on the street, or the Nigeria security agents that were shooting and killing them? Who is the one that is violent? You carry the flag and you get killed. Are you the one constituting violence, or the state that is sponsoring the killing? What do self-defense against the killers means? What we do today is to just defend our land and ourselves against Nigeria Islamic State and the killers. And at the same time, taking our freedom and the future into our hands, because a government that kills protesters are not ready for peaceful discussion. The reason we, the Biafran in exile, has taken guns, arms, ammunition in our position to defend our land is because a government that kills protesters are not ready for peaceful discussion. My fellow Political leaders across the globe listening to me today, or that will listen to this speech later on, I want to inform the world today that Biafra has taken up arms, and we are not dropping these arms until our freedom is achieved. For those making references to peaceful agitation as the only pathway to freedom, listen to me today. The reason for our abandoning Gandhi principles of non-violent and instead adopting militancy, guerrilla welfare as a method to sabotage against the Nigerian Islamic State and forces and its presence in Biafra territory, just like Mandela and many more, is a decision we made out of necessity. Our decision to support guerrilla welfare, militant aggression was not also made through recklessness or from any love for violence. Instead, it was as a result of a calm and sober assessment of the political situation that had arisen after many years of tyranny, killings, exploitation, and oppression of the Biafra people by the Islamic State of Nigeria. Non-violent actions had not worked and had often ended in the death of hundreds of protesters in Biafra territory. Not only Biafrans are being killed when they protest. We have seen the Lekki toll gate shooting. Those carrying Nigeria flag were murdered in cold blood. Fellow Biafrans, during the Massoud led by Wazirike, they were not armed, but Nigeria Islamic State killed them without justification. Many Massoud members were killed and thrown in the ocean, thrown in the river. Nobody has been held responsible for that. And finally, they forced Wazirike to quit the struggle. And Wazirike joined Nigeria kingmakers in the southeast. Today, every election, he will have his opinion. The IPOB, led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, IPOB was also a splinter group from Massoud after Wazirike was compelled by the Islamic State to quit Biafra struggle and become one of the kingmakers in the southeast. The movement of IPOB started in 2013. Thousands of IPOB members has been killed and murdered in cold blood, and many bodies were thrown in the river. Obibo massacre was very fresh in our memory, and we are coming to revenge Obibo massacre. This is going to happen very soon. The revenge of Obibo massacre by the Nigerian terrorists in River State will and must be avenged. Biafrans under IPOB, thousands were killed, thousands were abducted, thousands were butchered, and their family never found their bodies. Many are being detained, including the leader today. They kidnapped him from Kenya and renditioned him to Nigeria, and they have denied him every right under Nigeria. They were not violent. They did not carry arms. They only carried flag. Until today, Nigeria has violated every court order, including the ultimatum from the United Nations. And of course, out of fear, the defunct leadership he left, called the DOS, presently IPOB Nigeria, joined Nigerian politicians against genuine agitators and become IPOB Nigeria. Today, every Biafra movement has collapsed into Biafra government in exile. Both in the homeland and in exile. Nigeria has recruited Islamic State fighters into their military, police, and other forces to continue the holy war of Islam against indigenous people, and Biafra government in exile can't sit back and watch Nigeria state kill Biafra unchallenged. Therefore, the government which uses force to support its rules teaches the oppressed to use force to oppose it. We will continue to justify our decision to engage in sabotaging and hostility against terrorists in uniform until they are withdrawn completely from Biafra territory from the 40 United States of Biafra. Fellow Biafran, over 10,000 live viewers on Twitter. I am a Pan-Africanist. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and a free society which all persons will live together in harmony. And with equal opportunity, it is an ideal for which I hope to live for and to see realized. For that reason, our approach to Biafra freedom is multidimensional. It is not just hostility against Nigeria terrorist state, but we also have adopted a democratic process by embarking on self-referendum, which will be conducted through electronic voting. We understand the challenges of this approach, especially when our people in the rural area have no electricity and internet. We, however, expected to have a reasonable number of votes of Biafra extraction across the globe. The Biafra self-referendum will start on the 1st of February 2024, and there will be 3 stages to this self-referendum. This stage 3 will run through to our convention in Finland later this year. We'll continue to demand the withdrawal of the Nigeria terrorist troop from police to army to any Nigeria troop from Biafra territory, as it has been proven beyond reasonable doubt their involvement in terrorism and insecurity in our land. Today, terrorists kidnapped school pupils in the Ekiti community. In Yoruba land, we have secured Biafra land, and the insecurity we have are state-sponsored, being orchestrated by the Nigerian army and the terrorist police. They are involved in kidnapping, raping, killing of women and children, and burning of our marketplaces, homes, and businesses. For the self-referendum that will start on the 1st of February, we hereby declare sit-at-home civil disobedience to create awareness that will enable Biafrans to vote while in their comfort homes. So, fellow Biafrans, on the 1st of February, which is Thursday, entire Biafra land will be locked down. We have communicated all bishops in Biafra territory. We have communicated all officials by mail who reside in Biafra territory. Anyone who violates the order of Biafra government will have him or herself to blame. It is now a revolutionary phase of the Biafra liberation, and Biafra government remain the only legitimate government of the Biafra people, and Biafra people are loyal to. And Biafra government also has a legitimate de facto government chosen by the people of Biafra and not the Nigeria state. Our state government are very active. We have 40 active United States of Biafra. We have 40 active state administrators, otherwise called governors of these 40 states. These 40 states have administrators, state executives that are running the affair of the de facto government of Biafra. Let this sit at home that is coming on the 1st of February be shared to every cranny of Biafra territory, as we are going to lock down every road leading to Biafra territory. The voting will start immediately from 6 a.m. on the 1st of February 2024. The link to vote will be made public 12:00 on the eve of the voting of the referendum date, which first day night by 12:00, 12 a.m. Biafra time. I thank you very much for listening to this State of the Union today, and I will be open for questions from the audience. On Twitter, we have about